Have you ever spent weeks, maybe even months, crafting the perfect project schedule, only to watch it completely fall apart on day one? Yeah, you're not alone. Today, we're going to dive into success-driven project management, or SDPM. It's a methodology designed to turn your schedule from a fragile plan into a predictive tool that actually works in the real world, whether you're in engineering or software development. First, we'll diagnose why most schedules just fail. Then, we'll unpack the whole SDPM philosophy, learn how to build its resource-focused model, and walk through the 6 steps to put it into practice. We'll wrap up by revealing its secret weapon, management by trends, and we'll answer the big question: can your schedule actually predict the future? So let's start with the universal problem. Before we can build a better schedule, we have to understand exactly why the old methods break down, no matter if you're building a bridge or an app. It's a familiar story, isn't it? The perfect plan on paper just crumbles on day one. But why? Because traditional methods, like the critical path method, which basically just link tasks in a sequence, are built on assumptions that just don't hold up under the pressure of reality. A huge part of the problem is honestly just human nature. Parkinson's law says that work expands to fill the time we give it. You combine that with the student syndrome, our tendency to start everything at the last possible minute, and the problem becomes clear. When every task has its own hidden safety buffer, that time is inevitably wasted, leaving no cushion for the project as a whole. This is where SDPM completely changes the game. It's a total mindset shift. Instead of creating a single, rigid plan, SDPM embraces uncertainty. It uses a probabilistic approach, meaning it thinks in terms of chances and probabilities, not just fixed dates. Now, what's brilliant here is how SDPM sets different targets for different people. Just look at the table. The team on the ground gets an aggressive, optimistic plan to drive performance, but management plans with a 70% confidence level, creating a risk buffer. And the sponsor? They get a highly conservative 90% confidence target for their strategic planning. It's a layered defense against uncertainty. So how do we build a schedule that supports these different confidence levels? By getting real about what actually drives a project. And it's not just the sequence of tasks, it's the availability of your resources. Here is the fundamental difference. On the left, the classic critical path lives in a fantasy world of unlimited resources. On the right, SDPM's resource critical path, or RCP, lives in reality. It knows the real bottleneck might be your one senior engineer or a delayed shipment. The RCP finds the critical path that's constrained by the resources you actually have. If this sounds a little bit like critical chain project management, you're on the right track. They share some DNA. But SDPM takes it a step further. As this slide shows, the resource critical path doesn't just look at people and equipment. It integrates financial and supply chain constraints right into the calculation, creating a much more robust model of reality. Another key difference is flexibility. Critical chain often identifies a single bottleneck, the drum resource, and schedules everything around it. SDPM recognizes that in a complex project, the bottleneck moves. In the design phase, it might be the architects. During construction, it could be the cranes. SDPM is constantly recalculating the RCP, adapting as the project evolves. And those hidden safety buffers, SDPM rips them out of the individual tasks, where they just get wasted. Instead, it uses risk simulation, running thousands of what-if scenarios to create a centrally managed project buffer for time, cost, and materials. This becomes a transparent, shared safety net that the manager can use strategically to protect the final delivery date. Okay, we've got the why and the what. Now let's get to the how. We're going to walk through the 6 concrete steps to building a robust SDPM schedule. The process starts by ditching single-point estimates. For each task, you define a range: optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic. The system then generates 3 complete resource-constrained schedules. This data feeds a risk simulation, which analyzes thousands of possibilities to find the exact date and cost that aligns with your desired success probability, let's say 80%. With this probabilistic data in hand, you negotiate the final targets with stakeholders. Once the data's set, the system works backward to create a target schedule, setting the deadlines for each task. And finally, the buffer is calculated. It's simply the difference between your 80% confidence target and that aggressive, optimistic schedule we give to the team. Now you have your plan, your targets, and your buffers, all mathematically derived. Creating the plan is one thing, but the real power of SDPM comes to life during execution. This is where we stop looking in the rearview mirror and start looking at the road ahead. The single most important metric in a live SDPM project is your current success probability. With every progress update, every task completed or delay logged, the system reruns the risk simulation and tells you, as of right now, what's our chance of hitting our targets. And this is where it gets brilliant. You don't manage the number, you manage the trend. An upward trend shows you're on the path to success, but a downward trend, that's a huge alarm bell, even if other metrics look good. It's an early warning that your risk profile is getting worse, allowing you to act proactively based on your project's trajectory, not just its current status. So, let's bring it all together. What does this mean in practice? It means transforming your schedule from a static document into a dynamic, predictive tool, kind of like an oracle for your project. The advantages become crystal clear. You get realistic estimates, you optimize scarce resources, you get early warnings based on future risk, not past performance. And most importantly, your decisions are based on quantitative analysis, creating a living model of your project that adapts to reality, whether you're building a skyscraper or delivering software. This quote perfectly captures the essence of SDPM. Status reports tell you where you are. Trend analysis tells you where you are going. And that direction is what, in the end, defines success or failure. So, the final question I'll leave you with is this. Look at your current project plan. Is it a historical record of what was supposed to happen? Or is it a living tool that helps you predict and shape the future? With SDPM, it can be the latter.